Clyde Winter and on their name, put some respect. Yeah. I think it's time for reality check. Yeah, reality check. Gotta get you back on cold. Reality check for the young and the old. Reality check. Yeah, to heal your soul. Reality check. Get ready for the show.
What up, though? Just Eve. Oh, God. Listen, girl, you better stop this. You better stop
Make me
this.
blush, Dr. Winters.
You better stop this. From now on, I want you to put a frown on your face so yeah, I like that. That's better. Then I can relax. Yeah. See, then I know you're just Eve. But when
That's
you're
right.
smiling, then that makes me feel the whole world got it. The whole world got to get live. The whole world got to open up because it's time. Because we got to get ready because tonight is reality check.
That's
How you
right.
doing, Eve?
I'm doing all right, Dr. Winters. I personally can't complain too much, but some nasty bug is going around. So the
Yeah.
minis are kind of under the weather, and it's been up and down, having a whole bunch of people. And actually you've had similar situations because you and your wife had 5. So when one gets sick, everybody gets sick, or is that not the case?
That's true. That's the way it is and stuff. And but back in the day, my mother-in-law, bless her heart, she's always wanted to give them castor oil and all that type of stuff, and to kind of keep them straight.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing all the way free? And so we kind of used to do it. So how the kiddos is it just one or more than one?
No, it started with 1, and then there were 2, and now there are 3. And 2 of them normally kind of are always unscathed, but then they kind of ride the train of, I feeling a little okay. All right, I'm time for this. Fine, go lay down. Everybody go lay down. So just trying to keep the 2 who are not sick from getting sick. But the teas, they work. They know. They say, Mommy, it's time for more tea. And I'm like, yeah, it's time for some tea. They drink it, go do their business in the bathroom, because a lot of that waste comes out. A lot of that mess comes out in the bathroom. And then back.
Well, that's good. That's good that you can get it out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, kids just keep it in there all the way free. Super salute, Dr. Clyde Winters, and just Eve. Peace, family, and much, much respect. Yes. It's kind of interesting. I remember back in the day, they used to talk about the fact. I don't know if this is a wives' tale or not. They used to talk about the fact that the teachers who taught elementary school, died younger than I'm talking about taught grades 1 through 3.
Yep.
A lot of times they said that teachers who taught those grades kind of died early because those kids, they always touching you with mucus and all that stuff, and so I don't know, but I always taught up a grade center. Maybe that's where I'm still alive.
Yeah, the little kids, they're little germ carriers, and that's such a rough stereotype. But sometimes I feel like their little bugs are stronger and they hit a lot harder than just like a regular cold.
Yeah, and it's hard. But I noticed some of the teachers who are really successful, they try to teach them how to cough in there with their arm, and it's a lot of things. I found that when you're teaching kids, period, the more you do things on a regular basis, the more they have programs that they can relate to, things that are done on a regular type skill. I think that they learn more. How you doing, Karen? And Karen, I'm sorry to say this. Oh my God! Every night I'm on here listening to you all. Good.
Right. No, Karen, I'm happy you're here every night, you guys. This is where you can get some actionable items to look up, do research. Dr. Winters just started his class. So it's definitely some reasons for y'all to be at least on this side of the internet.
Yeah, I did just start my class, and you know, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun because hopefully, you know, hopefully when everybody's got something they want to do, and hopefully we can get it done. But then I'm working with someone else, and I don't know. You know, I'm that type of person. I want to do things. I want to get them done right away. You know, and the thing is, this is that sometimes I'll go a little too far. The sense is that I want to help you to make dreams come true. I believe in the sense is that I believe that through effort you can make the impossible possible.
I agree with that. I like that through effort, the impossible becomes possible. And then you see the word impossible and it's like, I'm possible, but are you doing the work that's going to get you there? Me and my man, we have this conversation all the time because it really feels like we're where we're supposed to be. But then it's like, man, we keep getting pushed. Like all these pushes. Are they good pushes? Are they bad pushes? Or are they pushing us where we need to go or pushing us away from where we are? And then the reasons why. And I always tell them, I say, no, we're where we're supposed to be. And it's more about, do you want it? Do you really want it? And if you really want it, are you really doing the work? Are you going to give up this time? You know, did this push you over the edge? You know, and then that's the debate we have. Was this enough to push us off of our mark? Or did it push us right smack dead bullseye center where we need to be?
You know, that's very interesting. You know, when you think about where you want to be, because, you know, today we're talking about blood diamonds. When I think about blood diamonds, I think about the fact in a sense is that, you know, you how you doing, Timothy, where that you're supposed to find these diamonds, and they're covered with the blood of the people who live in the community, you know, usually from Liberia or somewhere over there, maybe the Congo. But, you know, but I also, when I think about it, I think about delusion. Sometimes we delude ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you know,
sure.
Just like the other day, I was talking to somebody, and they brought up that they had played in the band. I played in the band too. I played a French horn, you see. Okay. But for some reason, it made me angry because it reminded me of those girls that I liked, and we were supposed to be. They were supposed to be my girlfriend, and people in the band took them away from me.
Oh no.
Yes. I'm the football player. I'm handsome. I got muscles. Back then I had a different voice. This is my football voice. I lost his voice when I got fat. But anyway, what can I do? I lost it when I got fat. But the thing is this, how you doing, Logan? Something like that. I'm sorry. Hey. But again, since I you know, and then it made me think about those days, and these boys in the band, they were cool, you know, because see, back when I was in high school, you had Gousters and you had Continentals, and I was a Continental, and the reason I was a Continental, it was 10 people in my family, so we didn't have that much money, you know, and you know, and so then I had to just wear regular clothes, you know. The Gousters, they could wear the baggy pants, they could wear the expensive pants, and so they had all the girls, you know. And so then, all I had was handsomeness, and that wasn't worth too much back in the day.
Oh,
you know? No, the girls wanted bad boys, you know.
The French horn, I guess that's not hood enough. That's not gangster enough.
That's right. I used to love it, but again, you know, it's trying to find that. It's trying to find that reality, because like I said, when I think of blood diamonds, I think about being diluted. Somehow you're going to get rich quick, and nothing seems to make you get rich quick. Not even relationships. I don't know. When you think about blood diamonds, what comes to your mind first?
I like that you're starting with delusional, because in real time, when I'm learning about diamonds, people are telling me that diamonds are a girl's best friend, that this is the stone that you want. This is the one that trumps all the other stones, right? And then you go get married or you get engaged, and your fiance proposes with the diamond, right? Or does he? And at least my first husband proposed with a diamond. My husband now proposed with a diamond, and we've
You're a lucky girl.
well, we have to work for what we want, right? Yeah. And then inside of that diamond conversation is it's deep, because they tell us that diamonds are supposed to be this sought after thing, but it's abundantly available. But they don't tell you that it's a resource that's in abundance. No, they actually tell you that it's worth so much because you can't find this quality in abundance. And now it's in tiers. Does that make sense?
In a way it does, because in a way they when they talk about diamonds, they talk about they're hard to find. They had to be created. Now they can make synthetic diamonds. But my wife, when for her birthday, for about 5 or 10 years, she wanted me to buy her jewelry, whenever it was her birthday. And so then one day, my daughter got a divorce, and so she had the ring that her husband bought her cost $3,000, and that was something else, It didn't work out though, but so I used to always buy my wife all type of jewelry. I got all type of stuff, And so then she said, okay, my daughter had the ring, and she said, I don't want this thing. So my wife said, let's see if we can sell this, sell it. You might want to come back on, Eve.
Yes.
So then she said maybe we should sell it. And so then so what happened is that we took it around and we were trying to see if we could sell it. But then nobody wanted to buy the ring. Every jewelry store we went to, instead of them wanting to be able to purchase the ring, what they did is that they just said, we don't, we'll give you some rings and merchandise. Karen says, I like gems instead of diamonds. That's cool. I like, I don't care. I think whatever makes a woman happy, that's the way it is with me, because I'm kind of that's how I feel. But anyway, so after we tried to sell it and they didn't want to really give any money, my wife just said, I don't want you to buy me any more jewelry, because you can't work it out, because they was talking about, how the stars, somebody broke in their house and they stole $100,000 worth of jewelry, and then or $50,000 worth of jewelry. But then when we were trying to sell, I said, damn, how do they sell the jewelry? How do they get rid of it? How do they get back? It's just like coins. They say buy the silver coins, buy the gold coins. But then you buy the silver coins and the gold coins, and okay, you buy a silver coin. Okay, you get an ounce, you get 1 ounce, maybe let's say that's $25, $30, depending on where you buy them at. And so you got the coin, but then you just can't go into to Walmart and say, hey, I want to buy I got $25 worth of clothes. Here's my silver coin. And then they say, that looks like a quarter to me, sir. I say, no, that is an ounce, 99.9% pure silver. It's worth $29. Oh, that looks like a quarter to me, sir. Mm-hmm. And so then you got this stuff, but then you can't just turn it in, And so in a way, it's everything is delusional. It's delusional. How do you get if you get the blood diamonds, if you get the diamonds, if you get the gems, how do you turn them in? How do you get the value,
That's a really good point, because I sold my first ring because the value, painful memories, I guess, and just wanting to be done with everything. And like you said, how much was spent for it is not what was received for it. And damn, it will definitely make you try to understand or do the math. The math won't mathin', right? Like,
Yeah.
you spend all this up front and then, pennies on the dollar to get something in return for it. I think that these people take out insurance claims, or at least they file insurance on the value of whatever it is at the time it was purchased. And then if you really got some money, then maybe you've had it appraised. Maybe you've got some more documentation that says that this jewelry that you have is worth XYZ. And then, but I don't think normal people go through all of that.
Yeah. But what used to get me, how you doing, Marsha Byram and Kind One C? What used to get me is that when I used to buy my wife jewelry, they said we got 10% off, something. So then they go in there, they get the calculator. They go put up, and then it still come out just about the same amount. Wait a minute. I thought you said it was 10% off.
No, they took the taxes off.
Yeah. I said, it doesn't look like 10% to me. It doesn't look like 20%. But that was, like I said, I went through that phase because, see, when I got married, like I said, I met my wife when we was in high school, and so then, we had our first baby when she was 16, and I was still in, and so then, I graduated, went to university, and when she got 18, we got married. So then I didn't have any money to buy a diamond ring, so I bought her a ring. I bought her a ring, and so then later, over the years later, when I made a lot of money, I bought her a nice ring. But the point is this: is that I just always felt that my mother used to say, you two are pretty dumb, because she said when you're young and you're getting married, and young people shouldn't get married. But I think that was the best thing that happened to me in my life. That in a sense is that I was able to marry my wife, and that she was with me for 50 years, and we were friends for 52 years. And I thought that's the greatest thing to me. I
kind of love that. I love listening to you talk about her. The love that you still have, it's not gone. She's not here, but the love's not gone. You still want her. I want
you said the key word.
Example. They need to see that, Dr. Winters. Love is about want. And I guess you don't want to be longing for, but when you're not around that person or when they're not with you, then you would be longing for them. You want to be where they are. My man makes things make sense around me, especially when my brain is doing all this stuff, and he's like, "No, calm down, slow down. Let's go A, B, C," and it's like the noise stops. I long for the noise to stop. So I don't know if she was quelling any thoughts for you, or at least keeping the noise at bay. But I think that people, they balance us.
I'll put it like this: is that when my wife died, every day I told her I love you. Every day I told her I want you. Then my daughter one day, she was saying, "Yeah, well now mama know you love her." What the fuck? What? She said, I said, what? I said, but see, I understand you as a woman. See, as a woman, you guys see the world from a different light, a different perspective, And so then, even though I was telling her that I loved her, I was showing her that I loved her, she still could say, I don't think he loved me enough, But see, but I was taught by my old man, I was taught by my father, you never do everything. Sometimes you have to sleep on the couch. Sometimes you got to sleep on the couch. And some it's just like when you're with a woman, and they say diamonds are forever, but they aren't forever, because the thing is this, that sometimes things just don't work out. But when you have a wife, my father taught me three things. Number one, never come home at the same time. Number two, never tell your wife how much you make. You see, and the third thing is argue with your wife when she want to argue with you. You know. Come on now.
That's gold right there. Did y'all take notes on that one?
You better, because see, the thing is, this is that most of the time as a man, you don't really want to argue. You don't really feel like arguing, but you can sometimes see your woman want to argue. So okay, I'll argue. La, 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 la. You're not listening. Yes, I am. You're not listening.
There's the
yes,
argument.
I am, you know. But the thing is that I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. And you were right, I wasn't listening. But the point is this, is that you should just smile and try to hear some of the words, you know. I was looking at the Bears. I know a lot of Black Power people. Most of the people on the see, I'm an exception to the rule. Because see, most of the people on the internet, most of the people who are on platforms, they're non-athletes. You're an athlete.
Right.
See? So since you're an athlete, you still try to stay physically fit. You still try to stay in shape. And there's one thing about you being an athlete, Eve, is as an athlete, nobody's going to knock you down and you lay down. You're going to get your ass up. See? And so, but you hear all these people, oh, I don't look at sports, you know. Yeah, it's because you weren't a sportsman and stuff, you know. You were maybe popular, you had the girls and stuff, you know, and stuff like that, and you were mainly always popular. But see, I think from being in athletics, it makes you, in a sense, think a little bit real. But even though we think a little bit real, we always still want to think about that blood diamond. We want to think about, damn, I'm gonna one day hit the lottery. I'm gonna one day find that way that I'm going to get that money that I deserve, you know. You know, those other people, they win the lottery. I'm not playing the lottery, but I'm going to win the lottery. All right. Wait a minute.
Hey, you can't win if you don't play.
Man. You got that right. But I'm going to win it. Come on. Jess, Eve, help a brother out. I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it.
Oh, that delusion right there. I've actually had that conversation with people who don't play the lottery, but will say that they're going to hit the lottery. And it's so funny because I think they think that what they're saying is benign, but I don't think it is. I think really in the back of some of these people's minds, they really do want to make it big. You know, they want that break, and it doesn't, you know, not the lottery break per se, but just my life is a lot easier now because I'm not resources deprived. But I get that.
But I sometimes feel, you know, my wife, I used to get in an argument with her, not a real argument, because my kids, we never argued. But, you know, I would sometimes have a different point of view, you know, because she always wanted to say that everything happens for a reason. And I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to believe that some things are coincidence, you know. And because I want to feel that some things are not planned, that some things I can maybe have some control over, even though I don't feel like I'm in control, you know. And that's why, yes, I'm going to get those blood diamonds. I'm going to get rich one day. But the whole point is this, is that I don't do the things that are going to allow me to get that special treat, that special way of winning the money. I don't do it. But at the same time, I'm always talking about I'm going to get it. You know, why do we allow that whole idea of the blood diamonds or getting the riches to delude us? But sometimes it's fun. I don't know about you, Eve, but sometimes I do like to lie to myself. Not too often. I hope you don't do that, though.
I think it's well, no, I do think that sometimes we do delude ourselves into certain things, but I like that you started with us being athletes, because we can see the ship. We can see the championship, the trophy, that, that first place at the end of the season or at the end of the work. And in real time, you'll have people on your team who are not practicing as hard, are not doing the work, might be riding the bench or the water boy. But then if the team wins, then they win too. So
Right.
in real time, people are just around for the benefit and not to do any of the work. They know the people around them are going to do the work. But then they're like, okay, I just got to sit right here, get my spot. I'm nice and cozy. And, I'm going to coast this to victory. And in real time, I think people do vicariously live through, their friends, family, associates, people that they've met or come into contact with. And then they think that, oh, well, we're friends. They're going to help me come up. My friend made it. They're gonna pass stuff down.
A lot of times they don't, though. But or just like when you lose a game. When I was in high school, not in college. College it wasn't like that, but in high school, you always got some players on the team. Whenever they lose a game, they gotta start crying, and then you feel happy because you did your best. If you ran track, you ran the hurdles, you did whatever you had to do, you did it good. And so I felt hell, I had done it good, but there's always somebody crying and they look at you. Clyde, why aren't you crying? Well, yeah, we lost, but I mean, hey, I feel sad. No, you're not sad enough. And it's always somebody want to put you on the spot to make you have to be feeling like they feel.
Oh,
and and these people that be crying in the next thing they out there trying to get in trouble or something like that. But in college it was kind of different. College was kind of very interesting because that was the first time I played with white people. And so I remember we went to Iowa, and some of the guys on the team, they took feces and put it on the wall. After that, they wouldn't let I don't know, they might let Illinois now, but they wouldn't let Illinois stay in the hotels. You had to stay at the college hotel. Yeah, they put feces on the wall and stuff. Yeah, when you're dealing with Europeans, it's very interesting how
interesting their get ready tactics or their close up tactics.
Yeah, and then even okay, you're in college. You in a different town. You don't even know nobody. Then girls walking through the hall, knocking on your door. Let me in. But and I saw so many brothers, get in trouble, because they want to in a sense get in trouble by going with those girls. Not when we was on road trips and stuff, But the thing is it's so much to get you in trouble out there in the world. That if you don't really pay attention, you'll be in a lot of trouble as an athlete,
Mm-hmm.
And
it's by design, especially Black athletes. They don't want us to be successful without having to pay homage, give credit to somebody outside of us. Don't let you give credit to your Black dad for, making your ass go to practice, and don't let it be a non fucked up situation. You come from a 2-parent household, your parents were not out here running the streets or playing games. You have discipline in your family. They don't necessarily like those examples. They like the blind side type of examples, like the Sandra Bullock savior. You can only be successful if you've got a white counterpart or a white cohort or what's the word?
Cohort is okay, but they like you to be hungry. They like you to be needy. They like you to be needy.
Yeah. Out all the time.
Yeah, and see, when you come, like you said, when you come from a 2-parent family and you had a father to kind of tell you what to do, and you had big brothers or whatever, and when you go to university and you're engaged in various activities, you think a little bit different. I don't know about your experience because I didn't go to an HBCU. I went to an all-white university, And so then I think different because those I always saw when HBCU students came up to Illinois and graduate programs, they were the biggest kiss asses. They would sell you out in a minute. I'm sorry.
It's real.
Forgive me out there. Forgive me. I'm just talking about how I saw it back then. They were very big kiss asses. Because going to school in Chicago. Yeah, I went to an all black high school, but we had competition with white folks. And because since we were competing with white people, I think when I went to university, I didn't see them as any obstacle to me. I saw them as being just as good as me, maybe lower than me, because hell, I could get B's, and well, at first I couldn't, but I mean, hell, you can get the good grades and stuff but it's kind of very hard, very hard because see, back then, it was like when you went to university, it was like getting a blood diamond. You had grew up in Chicago, rambling around those streets. You had all these big dreams because see, as I brought up last week, as black people, we always still grow up with that idea. Yes, white boy hate me. Yes, God told me so. Yeah, they hate you. They want to kill you. But for some reason, you still have that imagination that if you work hard, you're going to be successful. But it's just like blood diamonds. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy because sometimes no matter how hard you work, it's going to be difficult, but you don't want to think like that. And so it's hard, I think, when you go out into the real world and you still, especially if you literate, I don't know.
That's a good point. Because in real time with the diamonds, you go to a jewelry store and the real diamonds are way more expensive. And then the lab created diamonds are not as expensive, but they're supposed to be prettier, clearer, more clarity. They're supposed to be a better quality without all of the sacrifice involved. But in real time, if you were to purchase the lab created diamond and then you go somewhere and everybody's got diamonds and they start asking you, well, where'd you get yours, or what type of diamond, or even if they take out the machine and they start doing like a diamond check, you're going to get found out that you've got some fake shit on. And it's not that it was more ethically sourced or a better option. It's no, you're wearing fraudulent materials and trying to pass it off as something else. And now this concept that you didn't even understand really, they all look the same. Diamond, moissanite, whatever, it all looks the same. And but they told you that this would be better since people didn't die for it. But then you go buy it, and then in real time they're telling you that, well, what you bought isn't the quality. They've deluded you into a whole other purchase, telling you that the diamond that you wanted isn't the diamond you want. You actually want this. But then are they keeping them all for themselves? Like I didn't know what that was, but I see what Nadi said. Shout out to you, Nadi. Pole vault. That's cool.
It is, because when I was running track at DuSable, we used to practice on concrete. We didn't have a grass field, so when we played football, we practiced on concrete. And then I always wanted to pole vault, but see, our track team, we had to practice on the third floor. We had to practice on the third floor, running down the hall, sprinting and running over hurdles. So I could never pole vault. So when I saw this, I envy you, brother. I envy you. I envy you because I wanted to be a pole vaulter. But again, in the sense is that when you went to black schools back in the day, it was just like it was just a dream. It was just a dream. Just like how they talk about people today dying for the blood diamonds in Liberia, or they're using the blood diamonds to finance in a sense opportunity. And I think that that's how we've always seen life as black people, is trying to find some way to give us that edge, some way to give us that push to make life a little easier,
I agree. I think that that's what we're told though. We're told if you just work a little harder, if you, remove yourself a little bit more from them other niggas over there, you just have to do more. Those PWIs, those white institutions versus an HBCU. I will say that I think
Did
that
you go to an HBCU?
I went to both. At grad school, I went to an HBCU, and undergrad, I went to a white school. And I think that I've seen what you're talking about at both. I've seen the kiss asses in big ways at the HBCU in a way that I didn't expect to. I thought that we were supposed to be Black empowered, and we're supposed to be having, intellectual, economic conversations about where we're going to go, and people just wanted to be on party and bullshit. But at the white school I was at, they were very much having these conversations, but not the Blacks. Everybody else.
Well, I'm not going to tell a lie. When I went to college, it was a lot of partying going on. My freshman year, because I was married, because as soon as my wife got 18, we got married. So my sophomore through junior year, after my sophomore year, I was married. But other than that, I was out there partying stuff. But you know what I liked about the people who went to HBCUs is that, the people who went to HBCUs, it looked like to me they got those internships. They got the internships, and they could get, and those internships, that's what help you to get jobs. Like my granddaughter, nobody listened to me. She went to an HBCU. My son, two of my sons went to HBCUs, and they went to college. Heard what I said? They went to college. My daughter graduated, but they went to college.
Hey, a distinction.
They went. They went. But the thing is, this is that I don't understand. And just like right now, one of my daughter, she graduated. My granddaughter, she's going to graduate in a few weeks. I think my son said she's going to graduate soon. So, but I mean, the girls, they want to graduate. The boys, they just want to go and maybe have a little fun. Then the next thing you know, I want a car. But I said, wait, and you get the car later. No, I want a car, so I got to get a job. So then in a sense, they want to get their blood diamonds. They want to be able to get it through, but it takes work. And once you stop going, then a lot of times you don't come back and you don't finish,
That's like my parents didn't want me to take a year off in between high school and college because you might never go back. And I get that, once you get that taste of money and you don't really have a lot of obligations, then, what am I doing all this work with the books for when I could just try to advance my career here faster? But then it's like, is it faster, or did they just trick you into thinking it's faster? And that 1 year break turns into 5, turns into, damn, I'm going back to college at 42. And that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm just,
But it looks like when you go and you're really ready, it sometimes can be good, because I loved university. I loved college. I loved seminars. I used to love it because I just felt it was fun to me. I didn't enjoy high school, but I loved college. I loved the classes. I especially loved, the seminars. I used to like seminars a lot because I got my master's and I got my BA and MA in 4 years, and I only went to summer school once, and had to be average. So, but I mean, I just like school, and, just like when I was getting my PhD, I got that at Loyola. So when I was getting my PhD, I was able to get a fellowship. So I rode that fellowship for 3 years. Mama needed a new pair of shoes. Then after it was about to run out, I went on and wrote my dissertation up. So I don't know. I love school. I love that that competition, because see, just like blood diamonds. When you think about blood diamonds, you think about people dying to get these diamonds, but you know that if you can get those diamonds, you're going to be you're going to be well-to-do, or you're going to be established. You're going to be set up straight. And so in a way, that's what I thought and I believed. See, even though I was Black Power, as long as I can remember, I was Black Power. For some reason, I still had that idea that I was going to be overcome. I remember my wife when we was in college. When I was in college, she didn't go to university. She didn't really attend university except with me. And so then she used to say, Clyde, she said, you guys are kind of little silly. I said, what do you mean that you're silly? She said, you guys act like y'all going to go in this white man's college and take everything over. And then after you take everything over, they're going to just give you whatever the hell you want. And you're not going to go along with the program. You're just going to get it. I said, and I said, no. I said, yeah. Isn't that what's going to happen? She said, that's stupid. She's right. She's right. That European is going to make you pay. Karen Benjen said, some people just want them for prestige. Diamonds don't turn me on. I just want to have enough money to live well and help others. I have my own house now. My job paid for my college. That's beautiful. Go ahead.
Some of these tricks, I'm going to call them tricks of the trade. I didn't know that some jobs would pay you to advance your knowledge and learning until I was a teacher. And in real time, we have professional development. You can't just say that I got my teaching credentials 25 years ago, but I haven't been keeping up with the information that's out there. So in real time, I saw schools sending teachers to get advanced education, advance their degrees, get more learning. But that was something I experienced in real time. My brother worked for Sherwin-Williams for a little while, and they did the same thing, would send people to school to advance where they are career-wise. And nobody told us that. That was something we had to go live. And then, damn, what if I didn't pick a job that would have done that? Would I even know that you could do that?
Yeah.
People aren't even passing this stuff on. So thank you for sharing that, because people need to know that it's not just one way. Maybe a degree is how you advance where you are, but did it have to be straight out of high school into college, or maybe you knew what you wanted to do?
Yeah.
Because that internship that we talked about earlier, that's supposed to prepare you for the career path that you said that you want to be on.
Everybody's always asking, like, what do you know? Who do you know? Do you have experience? Karen Benzen said, I went to college as an adult. I never took any summers off. I only took courses that I needed. I already had my great paying job. That's cool. But see, a lot of people, that internship that, you can put on your resume that you've done the job, and that can help, sometimes.
No, it does help. It shows that, it shows people that you're willing to sacrifice to get the job done. Most internships are not paid, so you're going and working for free to really prove that this is something you want. So kind of like what we started with, is this really what you want? Do you really want it? As a teacher, classroom management, that's the class that'll change your life.
Don't say that word, please. Get away from that classroom management. Don't say that word. I don't know nothing about that. But what I like school and in Chicago, not today, but in Chicago, you could get that's how you got raises. You would get a regular raise as a teacher, but the more hours you had over your BA degree, then the more money you made. By the time I'm not going to tell you how much I made. But by the time I retired in 2016, I was making more than my principals.
I believe it.
Because see, once you get the master's, then the 46 hours, then the PhD. And so, damn, I was making more than my principal, so you can imagine how that was. I tried to be humble, but that didn't matter. Nigga, what? How the hell are you making more money than me? That's because I knew what the hell I was doing. I was a fool.
Man,
So Netta, send So Netta, I'll maybe come to your show and send me an email and we'll talk about it. But again, you rough on the brothers out there, man. You up there in New York, and you New York guys run everything. I'm just a poorly Chicago brother, and we're humble. Humble.
I mean, you kind of slapboxing in our chat, so maybe no, I'm just kidding. This is not my channel. This is just my this is half my show. Reality check. We're talking about diamonds. Oh, my boss now, he's a Pan-Africanist, and him and his wife, they don't have diamonds. When they got married, they have crystals or gemstones, and I think that if you
that's not African.
It's not African.
They should have some cowrie shells. They should have made a cowrie shell ring. They're fakers.
Molly, that's not me. That's not me.
Don't she didn't employer. Please, this is not her. This is an old man. I'm an old man. Don't pay attention to nothing I got to say. I'm old. And old people, nobody listens to us.
No, they say they can't trust them old people. No, but in real time, I thought it was really cool that they were like, no, we're not doing diamonds at all. We're gonna do what we want to do, and then they got their jewelry made. And people say, oh, he went to Jared, or he went to Kay, or he went to Tiffany's, or he went to here, and they don't know the history of this company. When I found out that Tiffany's, those chains that all the girls were wearing was very similar to actual chains that people were wearing. It's like, oh, I don't know if this is something I want to, perpetuate as much as I just didn't know. And then people don't know, they learn and they say, oh, I want to do better. Blood diamonds. Oh, these people are dying for diamonds. But in real time, that's still a status symbol. If it's a real diamond or a fake, the diamond I'm wearing right now, if it were a fake or a lab created diamond, I know that people, maybe not y'all, but I know that other people would be like, oh, that's so nice. That's so sweet. But, with that, bless her heart, tinge to it, that, she thinks she's doing something with her diamond. No, I don't think I'm doing anything more than what y'all do,
I think it's expected. Isn't it expected of you to get a diamond? I mean, I see all these shows where the man is doing something weird, and he's asking his girlfriend, "Hey, will you marry me?" And near the lake, and on the riverfront, standing in water, all those things, and you want to bring out that diamond, and see that's the beauty of it today. But see, think about brothers like me who back in the day didn't have any money, and yet we still wanted to marry somebody. It was kind of very hard. You was lucky to get that get the little gold thing, and get those things. Hell, I was able to buy one of those for my wife, and later I bought her a diamond ring later. But the point is this: I was able to get that, but I never bought me one, And I said, damn, I started without one, so why should I buy one?
Man, I've seen men with diamonds, Dr. Winters, and I've always thought that was so strange. You see the man, he's got his band, the woman's got the diamond, and it's like a masculine and feminine thing. Yeah. And then in real time, I've seen men with diamond rings.
Those are player. That's a player. Back in the day, see, back in the day when I was younger, I mean, those were the real guys. They were the real guys. They would have a diamond. They would have diamond rings because they were players. They had money. That was kind of a status symbol. See, back in the day, people who was kind of underworldish. They would had a diamond thing, had the nails with the that stuff. Their nails done and all that. I mean, hey, that. They didn't have any dirt under their nails. They were cool. But again, like I said, is that nowadays things are very different, because nowadays a lot of people are always trying to run away from being identified as being gay. And because they're trying to run away from being identified as gay, it's kind of very difficult. Then some people want to be identified as gay. So they would like to get those blood diamonds. But again, whenever I think about blood diamonds, I think about the imagination, the ability to feel that you're going to somehow get a heads up. You're going to somehow get something over somebody else, and you're going to use someone to get it. And that's what many people do, sadly. Many people, sadly.
In real time, people use others for the come up and then expect to not have to sacrifice as well. I think that there's if you took something, or if you got something and you knew that how it came to fruition was maybe unsavory, then maybe you wouldn't talk about it as much as you would just appreciate having it. So I guess an example would be antiquated white person with slaves who doesn't beat their slaves. Okay, they have slaves, but they're not beating them. Not like that guy down the road who, he whoops his slaves every other day. I don't whoop my slaves at all. But, is it better because I don't whoop them? Or is it better that I treat them how everybody expects me to treat them? Because inside of that, there's the delusion that, damn, my overseer master isn't treating me like theirs, but I'm not working as hard as they are working down there, or I'm working harder than what they're working down there. So that's why I'm not getting whooped. And now people are putting their own definitions on their treatment. And it goes back to the delusion that we've been talking about.
But think about it. But don't you think it had to have been like that? Slavery to me, I don't think Black people would have stood for slavery if every plantation was a terror. There was in reality, we always hear about the main three: Nat Turner, and then it's two more that we always talk about. I don't know why I forget them. I'll remember, but then it was really 250 slave rebellions. But we only hear about the top three. But I believe that slavery, we wouldn't have never took slavery if every master was just always terrorizing people. If every master was always raping your wife or raping your woman. So I think it occurred, but I think they knew who they could beat, they knew who they could rape and who they could get away with, because we got too many cases of a white man raping a Black woman and the house got burned down, or they had glass in the food. You see, that's the whole point. But the thing that get me today about these blood diamonds is just like Karen said, like she says, is that they go into debt. They already living together, and they want a big wedding, diamonds in the big house, and it is true. Like I know people who had a big wedding. I only had one daughter, and I didn't pay for her wedding because she didn't want a wedding. But my sons when they got married, my sons and their wives, they took loans. Well, I'm not gonna say that. My daughter-in-law, she listens to this, and she'll be saying, "I didn't take out a loan, Pops." I said, "Okay, so I'm not gonna lie on you." But anyway, they had to pay for their own wedding and the diamonds and stuff. They wasn't shacking up. I don't think were they living together before they got married? Maybe, I don't know. But the thing is this that I forget. But the thing is this, that like she says, that so many people they spend so much money, they want to make this such an important event. But then a lot of people, they get married and they're divorced right away, because as soon as the first time they have a little trouble, and for better or for worse, usually in a sense when that money slips away, it's like blood diamonds. They forget, why the hell did I get with you? Why am I there?
That's real. When I found out that people were spending thousands of dollars on a wedding, like you can't. I'll make the math for some things. You have to pay for a venue. You have to pay for food, but then inside of those two things, the cost can be astronomical. My first wedding and marriage, we didn't spend a whole lot, but we did get divorced inside of 10 years. So
that was a long time.
Oh, I think so.
That was a real long time.
Trying to make it work, but then some things are, out of my control, and I do have a control thing, so I'm trying to release release some of my need to be in control of things. But in real time, I saw my counterparts, my friends, spending way more than I ever would have thought on one day that's supposed to seal the deal for all of the rest of the days. But then every anniversary, society tells you that you're supposed to get a bigger gift and a bigger gift. And at 10 years, it's a bigger gift. And at 15, it's this. And at 20, it's this. And at 50, oh no, whoa, you get to go all out at 50, but you know.
Well, see, when I got married, since we were teenagers, she was 18, I was 19. So I mean, hell, when you get married as teenagers, you don't worry about that because you ain't got shit. But again, when you have good jobs and stuff like that, I guess you do, because you feel that in a sense is that since you do need to be having the money to support it, because see, the thing I think it is very important, and because the number one thing that really breaks up people is usually, in a sense, not a lack of attention, but usually money. Usually money. When there's not enough money around, or somebody cheating. It's either money or cheating. I don't know. It's not all the time.
I think a lot of times, like you just said, it's resource based. So it might not be that there isn't enough money, but maybe he's working all the time, or maybe she's working all the time. Somebody's not there. And then when that person's not there, and then the reason is because I want us to do X, Y, Z, or didn't you want to go on this trip? And don't you want these things? And don't you want, well,
it's
now
crazy.
Did I do this to us?
It's crazy. It's crazy because just like you said, you're wondering if you did it, but it's just like as a man, a lot of times you have to go to work, and then your wife will say, well, you're not spending enough time with me. Well, I had to go to work. Right. And then if you get laid off, why you around the house all the time?
Right.
You need to be out making some money. It's so contradictory. It's so contradictory in a sense, but it's very hard. It is very, very hard. I think the hardest thing in a man's life is when your wife tells you that she wants to find herself. You become very scary. Damn, I thought you found yourself. I thought that's why you married me. But you be scared as hell.
I know that is scary, because
it is.
When you've decided that this is your person, this is your lifelong person, what do you mean find yourself, and where are we going? Like, okay, let's go.
You're not part of the trip. You're not part of the trip. After about 15, 20 years, a lot of times your wife will come and say, I want to find myself. And then you're saying, damn, what about me? I thought, it happened to me, but we got through it. But the thing is, this is that I think a lot of times the grass, a lot of times the greener on the other side. I think it's very difficult. It's very difficult because, see, we want those blood diamonds. We want everything to just come. We want everything to go our way. And I think that's the thing in a way, is that we want how you doing the JoJo of manhood? But the thing is, this is that, everything's not going to go your way, but you do. You just, I don't know. Sometimes, do you ever sometimes, Eve, say, damn, I want something, but I don't know what I want?
Yes. Most of the time it's food related. So
yeah.
So sue me. Now, women, we get a bad rap for that. I'm hungry, but I don't know what I want to eat. But no, I don't want that. And no, I don't want that. And no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But in real time, no, I do know that I want something. Yeah. Something is going to tickle my fancy if you give it to me. Like, don't make me do the work and think about it.
I don't want to cook it. I want to get some swimps. I want to get some swimps tonight. I just say shrimps. I want to get some swimps. I want to get some swimps tonight. Then you buy the swimps and say, nah, that's not what I wanted.
Right.
But then again, in a sense of that, what is it? It's always something that we want, and that it's hard. This is an interesting question. Karen, you're bringing up some good questions, though. I watch the divorce court mostly every day. Crazy reason for asking for separation or divorce. they are crazy, but they're crazy to you. They're crazy to me, but they're not crazy to that person. It's just like me with my children. When my children was growing up, my children, they didn't never join a gang, and it was gangs all around. They didn't go out. None of them went to jail. Keep my fingers crossed so far. And yet it was still things that I didn't like that they did. And so then what I'm saying is that what may be little to us may be big to somebody else. And I think we have to understand that, because I know like two of my children, three of my children have been divorced, but the thing is, this is that I didn't get in their business. Maybe one of them I would have said, I think you're making a mistake, but I never really did that, because that's none of my business. Because see, we're always wishing and hoping and wishing, and it's the words we say. I think for example, people say, I wanted my wife, or I wanted this, or I wanted that. I always say I want, because see, I feel that words are important, language is important, and I know I've taught you a lot about words, and that when I was teaching linguistics, I always felt, and I still do, is that you can't change the meaning of words. You can't change the meaning of words. Therefore, you have to stay straight and narrow, and I think that's the problem. But at the same time, when I think about blood diamonds, I think about delusion. I think about fooling myself or fooling somebody else. I don't know.
I like that. Because yes, I agree with you. Words matter, and the meanings of the words matter.
Yeah.
So I love English, because you can say happy in a bunch of different ways. We've got synonyms, that there's a word that means that there are other words with similar types of meanings across different contexts. And, maybe you're elated, maybe you were grateful, maybe you're feeling okay, but one person could say happy for all three of those scenarios. And then, is this really what we mean, or are we just kind of blanket statementing? Is it easier to just go with the surface, or should we dive deep? What do we really want? Do we really want understanding, or are we just talking to pass the time? Sometimes when people are using words, they really probably should just be quiet, because what they're saying, not that it's not important, but just that maybe there's a better way to say it, or maybe you can get more specific, or maybe we can have a different conversation if I really knew what you wanted to talk about. Yeah. But in real time, women say that they want status symbols to show the world that they are as important as they feel. My man needs to show the world that I'm as important to him as he makes me. This is for the rest of everybody else, not for me, but the validation that I'm getting from everybody else is for me. Not that this man's validated me by wanting to be with me, but the fact that all of you guys see what he's had to do to be here. That's
it's just like a lot of times these women get BBLs, and most men could care less about a BBL. They don't want a big ass woman. They just want the woman they want. Right. And these women, and some of these skinny girls, they be skinny and have a 3-inch eyelashes, and they look so funny, but they're not. They feel they're looking, but they're not looking pretty for us. It's like some people say they're looking pretty for each other. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, sometimes ladies are looking pretty for each other, but we do have that thing where sometimes I don't care who the woman is. Sometimes, in a sense, I think that every woman likes, in a sense, to be with their man, and their man presents them as a princess. I think. I didn't say you are a princess, but I think when you were talking about the fact that sometimes, even, I don't care who you are as a woman, sometimes you want your man to make a big deal about you, and to acknowledge that in the public arena, in the public field. I think that's something that you guys do. Am I wrong or right or wrong?
I think you're right. Whether it's a girly girl or not a girly girl, I do think that is the beauty of being a woman, is that we get to be dainty. We get to be the object of affection, or we get to be the prize. Men will fight over us, really fight, or actually fight,
And then you have people like the Black Authority. They never had a real woman in their life, and they got a negative attitude. You got these people that have never had a good relationship, and who are afraid of women. And the reason I picked the Black Authority is that not now. He calms himself now, but up until about a year ago, if a woman called in on his show, he would get in an argument with her, or he would find a way to be mad at her. So, but now he's a little bit more with the phone. Since Kevin Samuels died, I guess now he wants to get that rep. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that why do these people let men and women who have not had good relationships, why do they let them tell them how to have a relationship when they never had a relationship? How can somebody tell you, even Kevin Samuels, how can he tell you about a good relationship when he's not in a relationship? He's been divorced twice. Yeah, maybe that can help you. But the point is this: wouldn't you want to hear somebody who's been together for a while? Yes. I mean, hey, come on now.
Even to who we've been talking about, Mr. Black, he will say that people will only listen to you if they want what you have. But then you should show what you have so that people have the ability to contextualize or put it in the proper light. Like Dojo in the chat, y'all wouldn't know that he is this HVM, right? Or society would prescribe him as a high value man because of what he does and how much he makes. But in real time, he isn't out here telling people how to live your life. No, he's living his life and trying to make it to the next step and make it to the next step. And, when we're individually focused on our why, then all of the delusion, you can kind of skate past it. People will get stuck on stupid around you, but you don't have to get stuck on stupid with them.
That's right.
You can kind of skate right past it. So even if Dojo, should you get married one day and you're like, my wife wanted a diamond and I got her a diamond and, it was a real diamond. It wasn't lab created. That was a decision that you guys get to make, and it's not delusion. It's an understanding of what it means. People can say, I know that this is a status symbol, and because I make a certain amount of money, I want people to see me in real time without having to show you my bank account.
Yeah.
That happens too. Excuse me. Excuse me.
I brought this up last week, but it was just like, a lot of people, everything now is, what do a woman bring to the table? And I think to most men, what a woman brings to the table is peace and happiness. Because I tell you how I was with my son and my daughter, and my son and his wife, and we were sitting at the table, and she looked over here and she pointed, look at him. I said, yeah, I'm looking at his big head ass. She said, look at him. You see how contented he is? I said, yeah. He started smiling. So yeah, she said, that's me. That's me. I'm the one who make him content. And see, that's the whole point. That's why when these people are letting people tell them how to deal with women, how to have relationships, they're making a big mistake. Let's take a little break. And on Wednesday, on Monday, we're starting a British history class. You might want to join.
Greetings, family. Sister Shanice here, and I'm absolutely delighted to be able to bring you a new training program that starts on Monday, the 29th of April 2024. It's going to be running for 6 strongs or 6 weeks, and we're going to be focusing on when Britain was black. Yes, indeed. Did you know that there was a time when in Britain we were worshipping a black Jesus on the cross? No, it's not just Russia. Did you know that there was a time in Britain where the mother and child was actually portrayed as black? Did you know that there was a time in Britain when the majority of people in Parliament were black? Did you know that there was a time in Britain when the monument builders were black? Did you know there was a time in Britain when the aristocracy was black, the kings, the queens, and royalty was black? Family, there has been so much history that has been hidden from us as a people, and we're going to be resurrecting this history on our 6 weeks training program. So make sure you join me, family, if you want to appreciate love the extent to which we as Africans have a greater claim to Britain than is currently being portrayed. If you are a Black history enthusiast, if you want to learn about where to go to do the research and find out more about Black Britain, if you are maybe training others in Black history, developing curriculum materials, maybe teaching in the field of history, and want to know more about Africans in Britain, then this is definitely the course for you. As I said, it's starting on Monday the 29th of April. Installment options are available. We're looking forward to you joining us on that day. I have leading researcher, anthropologist, archaeologist, linguist, man himself, Dr. Clyde Winters. So join us, family. We look forward to you being there. Okay, family, so sign up for this new, innovative, inspirational, groundbreaking course that's going to unravel, resurrect some buried treasures of African history. Don't delay. Go to sistershanice.gumroad.com. That's sistershanice.gumroad.com. Bye for now.
I hope you guys, if you can, you might want to join that class.
Since the gold touch your heart with the dinner rolls, shake the spirit one time, it gets old. She gon' take me out of space into another zone. Sweet spirit, she ain't messing with them petty hoes. Microwaves and cobalt us out of phone. Fucking in that vibe and smoking good on that drone. Call me eat now with the cuz all up in the fro. This queen approach, she gon' drop it low to the flow. You know she liquid gold with the alchemy in the bowl. Trippy super soul, it's the greatest tale never told. She gon' get you right, you can set up on your goals. You gon' spend the night in the harmonize with your toes. You know she's super fine and the aura down to her bones. Super magic fairy, I'm lost in the rituals. She give me life like butterflies on the rose. Really rich and old, ain't nothing like cracker trolls. Sitting in the clothes, an extraterrestrial. And she never fold, trap crackers up in the throat. She drink your wine, she rock you up like a pole. And she spark my mind with intellectual pose. Shake butter oils and linger up in your nose. Independent goddess, like rhythm up in the soul.
Yellow honey, drip slow, sweet agave, at the toe. Independent finance, wine, citrus mist. My Wonder Woman, I wonder how to.
You got to check out Tom Spy's stuff. A lot of his stuff is based on artifacts that they found that Aboriginal Black people made. Check him out. Support him.
What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB, or find me on X at Justice4 Us. That's JUSTICE 4 JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first.
A beautiful sweatshirt is being worn tonight by Eve. So check it out. Be supported. Support the program.
So dreamy.
Hey, I've just written a new book, History and Culture of the Black Aboriginals of America. Yes, I've written a new book. This book is called History and Culture of Afro-Americans. It's about the Aboriginal Americans. It's about the first people who inhabited America. Many people don't know about our great culture, this super culture that we created, but I discussed this book. In 489 pages, you'll find out so much information, great information, about, in a sense, what the Aboriginal foundational Black Americans did you're going to see, in a sense, that black people contributed much here. When the first Europeans got here, that's what they found. Yes, they found black aboriginals inhabiting the Americas. It was the black aboriginals that built this country. This is why you had to get my book, History and Culture of the Aboriginal Blacks of the Americas. In this book, you will find out the truth. You will know what we created. You will know who we are. Get this book. Buy it now. Very fine book, and it's if you get the hardback edition, it has an index. I have an index to the book. You're going to find out about every black aboriginal tribes that ever existed in the United States. Get that book if you want to find out. Also, it's very important in a sense to us support Yoshimod, because Yoshimod he made the introduction, and this brother has a lot to offer. Check him out. Yoshi can make your site wonderful. You got to check him out. Today is today. We need to homeschool our children due to white supremacy. In many states, education departments are passing laws to deny our children from learning the history of foundational Black Americans. Today, you can learn how to organize and teach your children in a homeschool. In my book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black Americans. You can use my book, History of Blacks in America from Prehistory to 1877, to teach our children their history here in the United States. You can use my book to teach world history. And this book I've written is called The World History of the Black World. This will teach your children about every Black civilization in the world. Get this book. The time is now. Get these books to teach your children about their greatness, to prevent them from losing confidence in their own ability to learn and be successful future adults in employment and education. Jess Eve, she has a weekend school for some of the kiddos. Yes. And you can maybe contact her, because I know that I've heard great things about the school. I even made a video once for it, but she's doing great things. If you want your children to have a sense of identity, if you want your children to have a sense of pride, if you want your children to have the self-esteem and confidence to really go out there into that world and face that world. It's hard out in that world, And the thing is, it's very important that you understand is that we're here to help. And that if you can have an opportunity, in a sense, to help your children to move forward, it's good, And Just Eve, you're right. I love that y'all join us every Wednesday. Hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Tell other people to join, because we're here talking about stuff that is very very interesting, and hopefully it's something that you all can do. And here's a testimonial from Karen Vincent, and she says Yoshimod is awesome, talented, educated, and still trying to learn and teach. Be one, Black first, and support some of his music. It's decent stuff. It's good music. It's music that can help you to really, become become more informed about the world and stuff like that. And we're happy that you guys are with us because I'm lucky to be able to talk to Just Eve, and you guys just don't know. People pay money. People pay money, but she's allowed to talk with this humble old guy and share some of her thoughts with you, the family. And it's very important that we be supportive because see, the thing is this is that, we have so much negativity out there. We have so much negativity, but what we try to do on Wednesday night is we try to share the love. And see, it's very important because see, most of us never experience love in our life. But see, if you come here every Wednesday, you're going to feel the love. I'm going to try to spread it. Just Eve is going to try to spread it because we try to avoid negativity. We don't want you to just be thinking about blood diamonds, how you're going to become rich someday without doing anything to get there, because it's hard. You got to work at being who you are.
That's true. Actually, speaking of Yoshi, I have something.
Oh, okay. Let's present that.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
You guys got to kind of check this out. I mean, Eve, in a sense, she works with the kiddies during the week. Now she works with them on the weekend. Try to join this. I know that I've been talking to some people who have children that attend the Sunday school, and the thing is, this is that they just love it. It'll help your kid to have more self-esteem. And we're always talking about, well, I don't feel like maybe doing a homeschool for my kid because I'm a little afraid that they may not be able to make it in the real world. But see, if you join things like this, you can be very, very you can be assured that your kids are going to learn something. Now, this is beautiful. Thank you all the way free. Support Dr. Clyde Winner's Patreon. That's right. Join me on my Patreon, please, because my Patreon, that's what they allow me to do the work that I do. Please share and subscribe. FBA all the way. B1, baby.
B1, baby.
To get back to this school, our kiddos need this. Our kiddos need this. You would not imagine. I'm sorry to say, I taught in the Chicago Public Schools for 46 years. I taught at government for 10 and a half years, and I taught at St. Xavier for 3 years. So that's 60 years of teaching. I taught at the university at night, so it was mainly graduate students. But the point is that, we need to give our kids this knowledge. We need to allow our kids to have something that they can stand on. You see, and when you got people like Just Eve and others who will take the time to spend with our children over the weekend, you got to in a sense be supportive. What up, cool dude? And you got to be supportive because we had to send our kids out, and they had to go in those streets, and they had to go into the warrior thing, and it's important. Eve, could you post that again?
Yeah, of course.
So I want to show that one more time.
Of course. I'm really humbled that Yoshi is able to take things and make them visually appealing for people. So that's a Yoshi production.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
It's only $30 monthly. For those of you who go to Starbucks, you spend that in one day. Starbucks getting that venti mark, whatever it is. Anyway,
we talking about blood diamonds, and Starbucks got them blood beans going.
That's right. They got the blood beans because they getting them over there in Ethiopia, Liberia. People dying who grow that stuff. And blood diamonds. It's terrible that people are killing each other just to have that stuff, but it's just that it is so easy. It is so easy for people to ignore and feel nothing about taking somebody's life. It's amazing to me.
It
just
is.
For a few diamonds.
It's you'll see that across the board, people willing to take from others because they think that it's where they want to be, or the grass being greener somewhere else. The grass is green where you water it. That's something that I've had to learn. You think that it's going to be better under different circumstances. And a lot of times it's how we're treating the circumstance. Before we went to commercial break, Dojo asked a really good question about, not listening to someone who doesn't have what it is that they want. And I wanted to touch on that because it speaks to the delusion. In real time, you've got people telling you that this is what you want. And I don't mean like YouTubers. I mean, society is telling you that you're supposed to have a degree. You're supposed to go get a 9-to-5. You're supposed to put your kids in school. You're supposed to pay for their college. You're supposed to do all of these things that the majority of us are not going to be able to do without, by hook or by crook. Or just without some really strong ancestors, fighting some battles that you don't even know are being held on your behalf. But I think that if you wanted a relationship, then you would talk to someone who has a successful relationship, not because the environment is the same, because it's not going to be the same. If a person's in a successful relationship and they got out the game whenever they got out the game, Dr. Winters got out the game as a teenager. I got married at 22. That's even 3 or 4 years difference between our understanding of the world and when we decided that, we're not doing the dating thing anymore because we found our forever people. But in real time, people will be married and then try to talk about the dating world. And I don't think that that's honest as much as the honesty comes in saying that you want a forever person and that you're going to do the work to get them, whatever that work is. But people will say that they want piece of it without doing the work, or they don't know what all comes with the work. So they want this fairy tale or this fantasy. They want this blood diamond, this 3-carat diamond that they were told is supposed to be this symbol of their status. And then they find out that all of these people died for it, that not only is this rock not invaluable, but it's in abundance. So now you have to decide if the symbol that it's supposed to represent means more than the work that you're putting into it. And I find in real time, people are doing what I think it was Karen or Marsha said in the chat. People are buying land instead of diamonds. They're putting money towards homes, vacations, things that they want to do, and not necessarily on just this symbol. In real time, your symbol, you go flash your ring and then you get robbed and you want to know why people targeted you. But you're out here, ooh, look at me and look at what I have. But then you're mad somebody wanted it enough to take you out for it. What are we really out here perpetuating, or what is it? What's the story we're telling?
But in a way, it's very interesting. You brought up an important point about the thing, But when I was always growing up, my mother would always say, don't never be a show off. My father, he never said nothing about it, but never be a show off. Everybody the same. But I mean, but let's just face it. Sometimes you want to show your woman off, just like sometimes you want to show your man off, and you want to, in a sense, sometimes you want to tell the world that they gave me this, or she gave me that, or he gave me this. Those are just feelings, I think, that we just have, that sometimes we want to be humble, like our parents tried to teach us, but at the same time, sometimes you feel that when you got a golden woman or you got a golden man, that sometimes you want others to see what a great crystal he is and that, or she is, and because that's something that you can hold. But it's just a shame that we're supposed to always be so humble, and you're supposed to keep the good things to yourself, I guess. I don't know. That's what it seemed like they say. You got to keep the good stuff to yourself.
If you don't, then somebody's going to try to take what you have.
Oh, they're going to try that anyway.
If you don't show that you're comfortable enough to lose it, then is it really yours?
Now, you got to explain that, please.
So I think that when people are trying to show that they've got status or that they have XYZ that other people want, if you're not comfortable saying, hey, this is mine and you can't do anything about it because it's mine, versus having to hide yours, it turns into a competition. I'm comfortable showing mine off because I know they're not going anywhere.
Well, but as a man, I might be comfortable, but I'll whoop your ass if you try to start. I'm a caveman. I might not would have hit my wife in the head or my woman, but I'll fuck you up. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I think
that's a good point, though, because men are supposed to be very comfortable in this domineering role. Knock them out, drag them, take what's mine. Society has told us that that's toxic, that a man showing his macho is toxic. But in real time, toxic masculinity is just this thing that we're using as the devil or the bad guy, when in real time, it's a lot of toxic women, toxic femininity spewing out, and then the men can't actually correct it because it's not them. It's a self-correction that needs to happen. And then you guys will follow suit because, like you said earlier, you only fight with your woman when she wants to fight. And all them other ones, maybe you don't want to participate in those knockdown dragouts. But when she's ready to combat, maybe those are the ones we actually do and know that no love's going to be lost. But
you know what?
Oh, go ahead.
That's the whole point. But what is love? How's love? You already made it clear to me. I used to say love is a state of mind. You made it clear love is a state of being. But I think that's one of the things that we have to do is we have to understand that we had to share stuff. We have to understand. Cool dude. He's a teacher in New York. He's getting the young folk, trying to teach them right way. And what did he say? What a coincidence. I found a diamond engagement wedding ring last Friday in the school gym after a student versus teacher basketball game. I handed it in to my AP. Yeah, give it to the assistant principal. That's a good thing because, see, the point is this, is that even though I may not think a diamond is important, I think someone else said that they would rather prefer gems than diamonds. But the point is this, is that does belong to somebody who does feel it's important. And because they do feel it's important, isn't it important for them to be able to have that to show? And I think that's what it is that I think that, the whole point in having a wedding, the whole point in having a wedding is to show off. But it's also not just a show off, but it's a symbol. And in most cultures, in just about every culture you find, there's always a great emphasis on the wedding ceremony. When when two families are coming together. We don't think about that as two families as Black people, because we all messed up in the mind anyway. But in reality, it's two families coming together. And I think that when you look at when you look at weddings in Africa or around the world, they're ceremonies in which people are making promises. We forget a wedding is a binding contract. It's a contract. And not only is it a legal contract, it's a contract made between you and that person before God Almighty. And no matter what you may think about it. But also it's something that sometimes things just don't work out too. So nobody has to be, sometimes you can't really find your soulmate. Who is your soulmate? Like right now, I believe in the sense your soulmate is in heaven, because we just get certain people doing certain incarnations,
I agree with that. If you're lucky, I don't like luck because it goes into that coincidence thing that you like. You want there to be some coincidences. I want there to be a rhyme and reason for why things happen. And inside of that, we do come back, because energy doesn't go anywhere. It just takes a little bit to get to how it was when we were familiar with it last time. But maybe you find your forever person again. Right now, your forever person is in a whole other realm, right? So
right.
You've got a different longing than
but I know that's relative. I know it's relative. I was thinking about that the other day. I said that in this incarnation, because my wife, before, about a year or so before she died, she said, she was very in tune with her guides, her spirit guides and all that good stuff. And so one day she said, Clyde, when I closed my eyes, I saw that we were in Italy, and I was your mistress. And so I said, I wish I was him. He's still young. He can do what I can't do. But anyway, but the point is this, is that each incarnation is different. Because each incarnation is different, because each incarnation, you have a different experience. You don't know how many times you've married the same person. This time you're divorced. Maybe the last time y'all stayed together. Maybe that last time that was your enemy. And so since we're playing these various roles on this plane, I feel we have to always keep that in mind, that we're playing a role. And this is just one life. This is just one chapter in God's book. And so we're playing this role. We may play a different role in the future. And it's very important to say that. Karen Vincent, she said, in India, the rich family picks your mate. But listen to my grandmother and them. When I hear my grandmother and them talking, a lot of times, a lot of times they fathers and mothers would want to pick their mates. Some of our grandmas and grandpas got married because their parents made them get married. Sometimes it worked out. Many times it didn't work out, it was many a time when I was growing up, my auntie, somebody tell your auntie, yeah, John and Dad down south. And then your auntie would go down south and get all he had because they were married first. But see, Black people didn't get a lot of divorces. So your auntie might go down and get all of John's valuables, but that wasn't fair because he maybe was living with another woman who had maybe been with him for years, but they didn't have that legal document. They didn't have, in a sense, that marriage license. And I think it's very important to understand, in a sense, is that we all like that delusion of blood diamonds. We always, in a sense, we don't want people to die for the diamonds we get, but we do want to, in a sense, be able to find that easy way of getting that status, or getting that money, or being able to live that life,
Absolutely. People not wanting to know about the bad stuff that happens for them to get the benefit of it later. I see that with food all the time. Don't tell somebody who likes hot dogs what's in a hot dog, right? Yeah. They don't want to know. They just know that they really like hot dogs. And then you can be a dick and, tell them, no, it's got shoelaces and bugs and, whatever. Just be really mean and just crash their deluded thoughts. However, in real time, people think that the blood diamond, and when I say blood diamond, I mean, a diamond that wasn't created in a lab. And I know that all diamonds that weren't created in a lab are not all blood diamonds, but just for ease of the conversation, the diamonds where someone had to sacrifice themselves for. They're in a mine, they're not getting paid, people have died. Those diamonds are supposed to carry more weight. And I think they should, because a human life was involved. Yeah. But am I supposed to use this as a status of how much value I have, or is it something else? Because in real time, I'm teaching my fourth graders that diamonds are the hardest mineral. People use diamonds to cut. So yes, the diamond I'm wearing on my finger right now can cut glass and can cut through metal. You can use it industriously. But they're like, oh, it's jewelry. I was like, well, now it's multifaceted. We can do lots of different things. So then they're understanding the value of this resource in a way that has nothing to do with what it looks like and everything to do with its use. And, maybe some of these things that we've caught ourselves being deluded on just needs a readjustment. Maybe take it back to the dictionary. Let's go back to some basics. Let's get the linguistics back. And put things in appropriate context. Because if this rock is in abundance, but society is telling you to spend thousands of dollars on it, well, what are we spending on? Are we spending on the status, or are we spending on the rock?
But I think what Cool Dude said is that the diamond had, the diamond he found in the gym, the diamond had a fantastic shine. It could have been a real diamond or a cubic zirconian, but it probably has sentimental value to some young woman or old woman. And that's the whole point, is that a lot of times, it's not just the cost of the diamond or where the diamond came from, but I think also for those people who really think about their relationship and hold their relationship sacred, and hopefully can stay together, because it's nobody's fault if sometimes you can't stay together. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you should stay with somebody who's being abusive. I don't think you should stay with somebody who you don't care about and you feel they don't care about you. I think, in a sense, I see in many things. Like, I saw this woman, it's a commercial, and the woman said that she got a really bad sickness. And then, and she had been, and this guy, her husband, wanted to ask her to get married, and she told him no. But then later in the sense, he forced her to marry him, and they're still together. But she didn't want him to suffer. And so I think that this whole idea of trying to have some symbolism, the thing today is that we don't have symbols, and our children don't grow up hearing stories that can inculcate within them how to live their life, how to live a worthwhile life, and how to be happy. I think in the old days, you had older people were around telling you good stories or telling you about life, that it was something that made you feel that life was worth living. I don't know if young people feel life is worth living.
I think that, well, no, you're making a really good point about the disconnect between the generations. A lot of young people are not having conversations with the elders in their family because they've said that the symbols that are associated with are not where they want to be. So, for example, maybe you have examples of married couples in your family, but the wife or the woman didn't do all the things that you want to do as a woman now. So then you don't use that symbol as your example because she only got as far as the kitchen, or she only got as far as wherever it was that she landed, and you want more. So now you've divorced from that. You've divorced from your family, and you've jumped into this new light of understanding where, I can go get somebody. I can go be with somebody who's going to let me be independent, going to let me find myself, going to let me do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. but then maybe the symbol wasn't the example. It was the relationship that you saw. And that's not a symbol as much as it's tangible. If your auntie and uncle that you knew that were married, that you didn't want that as your example because she only cooked and cleaned and she reared the children and took care of the home, but they were solid. You know, she didn't want for anything. He wasn't abusive to her, or you never saw their spats or disgruntlements or anything like that. You know, that's not a symbol anymore. That's a tangible, concrete example of what it looks like when people decide, I'm not bigger than you, but together we're pretty big. And because society doesn't use that tangible example as a value placer or as a value marker, you know, it's about your actual, what do you have? Well, y'all don't have a big house. You don't have a big car. You're not a millionaire. So I'm not going to use that example. And then in real time, you know, people will say that that's why the older people in your family aren't getting listened to, because they don't have these status symbols. But all of it is delusion. And I like that you started with this confusion, because people think that, oh, it's shiny. Oh, it's valuable. But glass is shiny. It's not as valuable as the diamond that I'm wearing, but neither is the cubic zirconia that might be more shiny than my diamond. You know, like you've got a clear cubic or moissanite or whatever it is, clear crystal. It's huge. It's pretty. It's got it makes the sun sparkle off of it. And Eve, you just got a little diamond. And yours doesn't shine as big as mine does. You know, it's like this is where we are. People think big,
but
and
yours can cut glass,
right? Right. So, and I like what Cool Dude's saying in the chat about the good woman is a diamond, because man, women can cut, right? You can cut deep, and maybe that's the balance. Maybe society has put us thinking that we want these trinkets when what we want are real meaningful relationships and interactions with the actual people.
Right. And see, that's what it's all about. And so that's where Kevin Samuels made his mistake. You know, that's where the Black authority in the business, that's where he makes his mistake. That's where a lot of people are making these mistakes, because they're talking about, what does the woman bring to the table? And anybody who's ever had a good woman will tell you she brings to the table, you know, happiness. It's like when my daughter-in-law told me when we was at dinner, you know, well, they paid for the dinner too, so I was quite happy. But anyway, when they were at dinner, and she said, look at him. I said, yeah, I can see his big head ass. And then she said, look at him. She said, see how content he is? She said, I did that. I said, okay, all right. You know, she wasn't talking about they had made love or anything like that, but just by them being together. And that's what I think it's all about, is trying to find contentment, trying to learn to respect each other. And I think that is the best important thing. And I gotta show this again, what Kudu said. Yes, your woman can reflect light unto your life or cut through bullshit life can throw on you. That's what it's all about. See, that's what it's all about. It's two people having different purposes. But again, don't get me wrong, family. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that just because people can't make it, that's wrong. No, that's what life is all about. Sometimes we make it, sometimes we don't. But you got to respect everybody for how they try to live their life. You got to respect everybody for how they try to treat each other. But see, this whole idea that everything is going to be a diamond, you see, and that people have died to make that diamond for you. Yes, that diamond is bright. That diamond is shiny. And I think that anybody who wants to get that for their wife or get that for themselves, I think it's important, because like I said, when I was growing up, the real players, the pimps, the real players and pimps, they wore diamond rings. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. They wore them. See, but the thing is, this is that we don't understand is that when you have someone that you really care about, you want them to have the best. When you have someone that you really care about, they're like a shining star. You see, and that's the whole point that we forget. So many of us, because of the fact that we live in such a materialistic world, and sometimes we don't really get to know the person that we're married to. Because I mean, you could be married to somebody and y'all still may not really connect, you know. And I think that's very important in the sense that you're always seeking to find a connection, you know.
Oh yeah, the connection that's the key right there. A lot of people are forcing connections because of the people they're listening to. Like Marsha just said, people talking about men who make a certain amount, but not wanting too much at the table, but brought not too much to the table. Talking about the women counterparts to these men who make so much money. And I think that in general, Marsha, if people had a real conversation about what they were bringing to each other, then people would see in real time that, he's making a lot of money, but there's no substance here.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to grow with this person as much as they can finance me.
Right.
And then honest conversations ensue. People don't like honest conversations because it makes her sound like a gold digger, or it makes him sound like a chauvinist, or, people don't like the negative words that define how they live. But it's honest. If she wants a comfortable life and she doesn't care how he gets there,
Right.
then there's nothing wrong with that. If she's honest about it,
Yeah.
society will tell her to lie about it because you can't be honest. Women can't be honest like that. And men, don't you say that you want more than one woman because, now you're just toxic. However, lying about it, I think that's more toxic.
But see,
telling people to do stuff that you're not doing, that might be more toxic than just living your honest.
The white man made it beautiful for us. He made it beautiful that men can have a wife and then they go see a prostitute. You see, that's why if you notice throughout their history, prostitution or the house of prostitution, it has always been available. You see, like I saw this thing the other day, and they were talking about the Dogon, and then the Dogon guy, he was saying, well, I'm not. He said that guy over there, he's cool, he's a Muslim, but he wants more than one wife. He said a man should just have one wife. But see, that's his perspective. Whereas that Muslim brother said, hey, I can have 3 wives. You see, and so then it's what do you do? How do you survive? But it's how people, in a sense, try to, in a sense, realize their life to its higher purpose. Realize the life that they really want. Marsha said, yes, I agree. That's what I think he was trying to tell these women. Yes, is that he's trying to tell them, bring something to the table. Kevin Samuels, but he died having sex with some young Latina. So get out of here. So you didn't live your life. You didn't live your life.
He lived your life. He just wasn't comfortable being honest about it.
Yeah, but he wasn't on code.
That too. To me.
But I didn't say this, but that is a lot of men wouldn't mind going out like that. I'm sorry.
It seems like live y'all's lives. Honesty. That is the reality check of the year. To be honest. You want a very big shiny rock. Well, maybe it's not a diamond, but you got your big shiny rock. I think that some things are very simple, but people want to overcomplicate it because of how society is telling us to define things. You can't be happy with your trinket because your trinket hasn't the value that we've put on other things. But if it really makes you happy, then like Cool Dude said, that ring that he found, it could have been fake or not. To the girl that lost it, she was probably sick.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't even hers. Maybe she borrowed it from somebody's jewelry box, and now she's extra sick because if she doesn't bring that ring home, then she's going to be in a world of trouble. And then now we're into Why'd you even go through all of that? And people try to keep up with everybody else because, again, of society diluting people into what is valuable versus the things that matter. If someone tells you that this is worth $10,000, well, if you don't have $10,000, then maybe you'll say that's valuable. But I would say that a hot meal with fresh ingredients with a person that I really fuck with, that's really valuable. You know, some really good food and some really good company. And maybe I didn't have to make it. Maybe sometimes I do have to make it if I want it to be like how I want it. But, you know, there's value there to me, but I don't know if somebody would spend $10,000 on it as much as my man said, you know, I'll spend. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can work with that because our values are aligned.
You know, because I'll tell anybody, if I could get my wife back, I'd give $1 billion, but I don't have that much. But did you have a final comment for tonight, E?
I want, at least for tonight with the Blood Diamond conversation, I want people to really pay attention to the things that matter to you. And who gives a fuck what other people are saying is valuable? Because they're not living your life. In real time, people will say, oh, you can't talk about this because you don't have this, or you can't do that because you haven't done this. But I think that if people got more comfortable with the things that they want to talk about, like how we do every Wednesday, people get comfortable doing the things that they want to do, then all of society's input won't matter anymore because y'all will be the examples that other people are looking for. People are looking for the example to make sense. And if nobody is out here living their lives authentically, then it's just going to be a bunch of confusion, a bunch of people shooting for stars that aren't even stars, people buying diamonds that aren't going to cut. I don't know if that's where you want to be.
Yeah. You guys have a great evening, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
If you're not going to speak up, you're the one. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one. Vampires, they prey on your future. Stay away, vampires, they prey on your fears, control your life, they feel.